Hey Jen, I know you had a question about picking up stitches, extra stitches, alongside to close that gap when you're doing a heel flap and turn. So what I did, what I'm trying to do, is I'm going to go back since I had just done this row, or the front of this, right after the heel turn. I'm actually going to back out my stitches um, so that I can show you exactly how I do what I do to avoid that gap. So we are in the corner. There we go. That is the last actual stitch for the instep or front of the sock. So we've got the 2, 4, 6, 8. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. Okay, so this is a typical 32, um, yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? If a 32 row heel flap. So I wind up, the way I do my heel turn, I wind up with a total of 18 stitches. So I always put a marker between the ninth and the 10th stitch. And that way I know I can count really quick 3, 6, 9 to where that first slip stitch is. So we've got right now 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21 stitches here. Now the reason I did that is because there was a really good size gap. So for these slip stitches, try and get a little close here, so hopefully it'll focus on my hands. I'm going to take these extras out. Okay, so what we really had here was, let me get past the initial 9, 3, 6, 9. So now we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I've got 17 that I picked up along the edge here. And I think it's just the way that I wound up doing the heel turn. I went back one more time and knit another row when I didn't actually have to. So that's how I wound up with actually 17 stitches along the edge here to pick up from. So now what I will do is, since this is the last stitch, see if I can get the focus on it. This right here is the last stitch that I picked up and knit. So it's a yellow stitch with a bit of yarn coming through it, so it's harder to see. But I don't want a gap. And there's a good amount of space between this first slip stitch, which was the first slip stitch going back on that first purl row, the purl back row. It's kind of big and loose. You've also got, my knitting is relatively loose. So these stitches have a good amount of space in them when you pull them apart. So I am going to do 3, maybe 4 extra stitches in here to close the gap. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look where that last slip stitch was, which was actually the first purl row slip stitch. And I'm going to take my needle and I am going to go into this stitch right under it. Now it's actually got a bit of this bar attached to it. We'll just go ahead and go over that bar as well. And we're going to pick up 1 extra stitch there. Now, again, that is still kind of a gap between where this gap is that I'll pick up a stitch and where we are now. So I can see why I had 4 extra stitches in here. So now I'm going to go down one more. And still I got that purple bar in here. And I'm going to pick up a second extra stitch here. So this is actually a good example of how to get it nice and closed. Now down here, there is the bar that came from your instep stitch. You've got another bar, but that's going to be kind of loose still. You want to go down at least 3 bars and pick up a knit there. Sorry. So you're making another stitch. I forgot to silence my watch. Then over here underneath where that first stitch is, get in here. See where that first stitch is? It's the purple on top of my red xiaogu right here. Okay. And below that is kind of an aqua green teal stitch. I don't want to go all the way over here and then backtrack because that'll cause a pucker. So I'm going to go down right below where that purple bar between this stitch right here that's sitting on the end of the instep and where I picked up in that kind of gap with the wider bars between here. I'm just going to go right in there into, like, you would call it the mother stitch of the stitch that is actually currently on the needle. And I'm going to pick up and knit one there. Now, that does give me 4 extra stitches on this side, but as you can see, there is not going to be a gap there. So now, let me quickly knit across here in pattern. And that's going to be there we go. And now we just slip that one and I drop a stitch. So let me fix that really quick. It actually dropped down 2. So the yellow is actually the bottom bar that dropped. And then if you look back here, that blue is the next bar that dropped. And now I will continue, maybe not quite as fast, knitting across here. I am hoping this video helps you feel confident when you're picking up and knitting along your heel flap to create that gusset. Now, the last pair of socks that I knit, I did this, and I think it was just with 3 extra stitches. So it was a total of 19 stitches along the heel flap. And that sock is a little loose on me. Now, these are for a friend of mine who has an even smaller ankle. Oops, I was supposed to slip that one. There's an even smaller ankle than I do. So I am going to decrease these away faster than just every other row. So since I picked up 4 extra stitches, plus there was 1 extra actual slipped heel flap stitch. So there were 17 plus 4, 21. I'm actually going to the first 5 rows of my gusset, I will actually pick up and knit more than what is needed. Or not, I'm sorry, not pick up and knit more than what is needed. I'm totally off there. I'm going to decrease faster every single row for those first, let me see, it would be, if I've got 4 extra, if I've got 5 extra technically, So it's 22 stitches total. No, I'm sorry, 21. So I've got four extras. So rows 1 through 5, I will decrease on every round. After that initial real quick shrink of that gusset, then I'll go back to decreasing every other round. So now, since I'm knitting magic loop, and this is where I would split my loops. So if you go back here to where that, let me see here, to where the initial, I gotta count again. Oh my goodness. Okay, hang on. 3, 6, 9. Now we're on the heel flap. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, and then we had the four extras. Okay, so that would be that purple stitch there. Whoops, right there. And we went into the green one right below it. This is the last of that extra heel flap. That is the first real stitch. So there should be 32 now. Let's double check. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, start over. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. So yes, we have the correct number of stitches for the instep. So now we're going to pick up those extra 4 again on this side, which is a little different. You can either do this with your tip pulled all the way in if it's easier for you to pick up those first couple of stitches, which we're going to start. We've got that really loose teal colored stitch right here. So the first one we're going to pick up is going to be right below it. So sometimes it's easier to do it this way, to insert the tip, pull up that first stitch, isolate it. As you go back to where your join is on your magic loop, and then pull up and create where the loops are going to land when you're doing your knitting. Or you could do a few stitches like that, or you can just pull it out and do them all here. I find it's easier to get that first one tighter when I do it from the tip with all the stitches pulled up to the end. After that, though, I'm good to go. So you want to make sure that this is really tight and there's no laddering. The next one you're going to go into again is where these bars are very split. You're going to go right underneath like 3 of them. Sometimes this is really super loose. You could even go into that bar of the 4th, which is what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to make these again super tight. I've really got tension on this and I'm holding it because again, you don't want those gaps. Now I'm going to go kind of under, I was under here in those bars. I'm going to go next to it, but I'm going to go up just a little bit there to pull up that 3rd one. Now, I'm going to take a look here and do some counting to see how many stitches I've got, because I'm going to need 17 to make it even with the other side. So if we come back here, and that would be the last one, 1, Then under here, you kind of have to uncurl it. You've got two. That's the third slip stitch. That's the fourth. Then you've got five. Then you've got, hold on, I got to uncurl. Look this way. You've got six right there. Now you've got the green one of seven. Then you've got this going into kind of this purple is eight. You've got the yellow nine, another yellow 10, a purple 11, another yellow 12. Then you've got green is 13, blue is 14. Got another yellow for 15. Blue is 16, so this red one is 17. So now you go under, oops, sorry, go under that 17th one. So now you've got those initial three, which you could actually, if you had wanted to, sorry, go in there and grab another one or come in here where they're kind of all clumped together and grab another one. But we're good. So we've got four, five, six, sorry, I'm getting off center here, seven, eight, nine, oops, missed that one, 10, 11, missed that one too, 12, 13, 14, oops, that one in a little far, 14. Now we've got in there 15. Oh, this one does not want to cooperate. Try that again. Once more with feeling. So that would be 15, 16, 17. And again, I'm unrolling as I do this. 17. There we go. 18. 19. 20. Oops, 19. Hold on. 20. Under the green. 21. And then if you needed to, for some reason, you could also go around and kind of under this yellow stitch, but we don't need to because we had 21 on the other side, although that one split. Let me try it again. There we go. Now we got 21. And let's double count. Sorry, the camera moved. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Now I'm counting 20 here, so we could go one more. Let me try that again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That might be where I messed up because those yellow ones. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So we do only have 20 on this side. So if we want to make it even, we could go back to this area here, pick up another stitch. I don't think it needs it now. And so then we can go under this yellow one, which I initially counted and didn't think we were going to need. And it doesn't want to be cooperative and pick up properly. Come on, baby, come on. Sometimes you gotta zhush it. There we go, 21. So now, if you come back here to where the end of the nine were, so we've got 2, 4, 8, 9. Okay. So if we come back here and just kind of pull this out for a second, maybe, if I can get it to cooperate. Actually, that was the wrong side of that. There we go. Okay, so now we should have 18 here from the heel turn. So let's double check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18. So we got it. So there's 18 there from the heel turn. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, sorry, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 here. And now on this side, pull this up a little, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and 21 there. So now we've got everything even. I keep this in here so that I know if I have messed up with an increase or decrease, I'm sorry, on either side of the gusset. That way I'll always know if I have an even number of stitches at the end of the round, I've done it right. Um, so that is, then these are the 32 instep stitches, which I will continue the pattern down the foot. And you will have a gap free. There is the turn. You will have a gap free heel flap meeting the back of the leg stitches. No gaps. We like no gaps in our socks. Okay, hopefully you got something out of this, and I will see you on the boards. Hey, Jen, just so you can see my setup here in my yarn room, aka my office. Um, there is the completed gapless, we certainly hope, heel flap and gusset setup. So I'm hoping that you're having a fantastic day. I'm going to put this up on my YouTube channel, and I will shoot you a link over in the chat. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.